Check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Hey, I can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. How are we doing today?
How are we doing? Welcome everybody to At the Buzz. I'm doing all right, Coach. How are you?
All right. Slow and steady. This is as we melt slowly and steadily to the downside here.
Yes, we do.
Very disciplined day. Um, so I'm happy with my results.
Good stuff. Good stuff. As am I. Pretty good trading day. Uh, I have a page in my journal. There's a quote at the top of it. It says "Trade less, make more," and that was my day today. So pretty good day overall. But welcome everyone to At the Buzz, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we can take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, Coach Paul. I've been with TopStep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. You are all our chat, our audience. Let us know how you did today. If you were up on the day, if you're down on the day, anything that you learned from the day. I see John316 says, I got wrecked. Uptown Dunk, plus 217 on a combine, plus 2K on a practice account. Nice job. Fuego says, what a day. I'm assuming that means it was a good day. So good to hear. For John, try to figure out why you got wrecked, right? Is it wrecked, but it's managed, right? Do you know exactly how much you were going to lose coming into the day? And if that's the case, then tomorrow's always another trading day. And if not, and if it wasn't managed, then there's an opportunity there to make some adjustments to your risk management, but always come back to trade for tomorrow. Bink in the chat hit my personal daily profit target. Nice job. Nice job. The Jackal, 4 express accounts to $200. I'm in snail jail for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, if $200 a day is snail money, I'll take it.
It's $52,000 a year.
There's a quote that goes, "Slow money is better than no money," and Jackal, in your case, I think that's exactly the case. Nothing wrong with $200 in a day. Gonna continue down. We will see. We will see. We got Nell catching a 300 tick sell side in the micro NASDAQ, hit profit targets across 8 accounts. 22K for Ezekiel. Whoa, big day. It's a lot of snails, some fast snails.
Yeah, that
Fast snails, 1,400 on a combine. Good job. All right, let's get into the charts. As far as news goes, we are officially in the longest government shutdown ever. We did get some numbers. The U.S. Challenger layoffs came in at 153,000. Prior number was 54,000. So that might be saying something about the labor market. We know we did get that ADP number yesterday. That looked better than expected for ADP. Of course, tomorrow would be our NFP day, but government is still shut down. Government is still shut down, so we will not be getting NFP tomorrow, and that'll be the second one now that we're skipping. We do get Michigan sentiment prelim tomorrow, but outside of that, pretty quiet on the news front. President Trump made an announcement earlier. He was speaking about drug prices and how we are going to get the fairest drug prices here in the U.S., the best drug prices in the world. But outside of that, any news that you got, Coach Paul?
just that Challenger report on weaker job market in lieu of any government news. More signs that the economy is slowing down. Other than that, no big headlines, but pretty steady selling. So
Steady selling, this is now the second day this week where we've had a pretty significant sell-off with no real news. What is going on? Is there something under the hood that we should be worried about here? Are we driving a lemon? But also, if you zoom out, these are prices that were all-time highs 2 weeks ago. So Don't want to overreact to it, but definitely a pullback in the uh, shorter time frame. Let's take a look at the quote board today. We got 36 different markets we can trade with top step accounts, and today to the downside, we had wheat futures down 3.38%, soybean meal down 3.69%, and micro Ethereum futures, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 4.26%. Honorable mention to Bitcoin, which is getting ready to test that 100,000 level again, down 3.11%. What's going on with the ags? What happened there?
Um,
Oh, what is that? That's a wheat chart.
that's a wheat chart. How long have you had that
I don't
trend
know.
line there?
When is the
And
last
why
time we
didn't
looked
you
at wheat?
sell it today on that?
That's a great question. I'm asking myself the same thing. When is the last time we looked at a wheat chart? Because that is
That's
that's a trend line if I've ever seen one.
when's the last time we talked about wheat?
Great question. I don't know.
So, wow.
Well,
Well, for you trend line traders, did you anyone else catch wheat?
I'm gonna guarantee. I would bet that there is not one person in this chat that traded wheat. And if you say that you did, you have to send a screenshot of your trade execution because I do not believe it. But but maybe there was one. And hey, if you did, you caught a hell of a move today. Um, soybean meal. I know we talked about this one yesterday because this has been in a pretty aggressive uptrend, right? Up almost 20% from the low. See a nice pullback today, 3.69%. And then micro Ethereum, our biggest percentage mover to the downside. What is that white line? This is a daily chart. Bitcoin is below the 200-day moving average and looking pretty heavy here, getting ready to
Yeah.
test that 100,000 again.
And looking at how high the volume was when we closed below the 200.
Yep.
So, and a little further um, downside today, feeling very and looking very weak.
Looking pretty weak here in Bitcoin. To the upside is all of the energies. We had RBOB gasoline futures up 2.75%, heating oil up 2.79%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 3.97%, getting closer to that 200-day moving average here in natural gas. Really nice move there, and a market that has been in a trend as well. We say it all the time. Our job as traders is to identify opportunity. Right now, those opportunities are in natural gas to the upside. Let's see what happens at that 200-day moving average. Cato in the chat says, "Hey, Coach Jay, you were right. Patience is key. Made $1,100 today. Nice job, Cato. Nice job. Patience and execution. That is the name of the game." Uh, to talk about our big four, we had crude oil down 0.1%, the S&P down 0.97%, gold down 0.15%, and the Nasdaq down 1.79% for our biggest percentage mover in our big four. I'm gonna pull up a Nasdaq chart. We'll take a look at the daily. What are we seeing here on the daily, Coach Paul? Uh-oh.
We're closing below the 20-day moving average.
Yep.
Not the end of the world, but look at how the 20-day moving average has gone flat.
Mm-hmm.
We've definitely lost a short-term upward momentum, um, and higher than average volume. So definitely it has the makings of liquidation or profit taking. Um, it's got to reclaim that 20, or I think there's a high probability we get down to the 50 in a hurry.
That 50-day moving average is 24,889. Right now, we'd be closing around 25,291. Daily ATR in the Nasdaq is 436 points, and that is one full daily ATR move to the downside. That would bring us close to the October 10th 50% of the October 10th candle. We closed inside of it. First time we've closed inside of it since we've broken out of it, and there's some nice selling coming in there. We talked about this. What happens when we close? If we close below that 20-day moving average, we'll see. But it is looking kind of heavy here. Looking kind of heavy. Let's take a look now at the 30-minute chart. What is that up there? What is that? What's going on here?
What time did we hit that last night?
Oh, we didn't hit it, but we got pretty close. In the S&P, let's go over to the S&P because it's even closer. Um, Taking a look at the S&P here. If you're wondering what we're talking about, it is the white line on my chart here, the 200 moving average. Saw somebody say that the 200 moving average algo was running today. This is on the 30-minute chart, 68.44. I got to give all props to Coach Paul for putting this line on my charts. And then when you add it with the volume, we had price that went up and tested there, but there was not a convinced buyer in that market to push us above the 200 moving average. Uh,
There was a convinced seller.
oh yeah, they were ready to go, ready to go. Let's take a look. I'm going to take the 20 and 50 moving averages off of here. But last night I took a couple of shorts in the S&P, and I was on with Dakota last night for slow markets. And one of the trades we talked about, actually, I want to bring this up. So let's go to a shorter time frame. Anybody remember the range that we said the 1400 lot got filled yesterday in the S&P? That meant a lot to me going into today.
What price was that at?
I'm trying to see if the chat remembers. I know exactly what the range was, but trying to see if anyone in the chat remembers.
All right, Bueller.
Let's see.
By the way,
Courtney.
SMA.
Courtney got it. 68.27 to 68.28. Right. That was the price that we saw that 1400 lot get filled yesterday. And, all I said yesterday was just keep an eye on that price. Uh, I don't know why they did what they did. I don't know why they sold 1400 contracts there, but they sold 1400 contracts right before the market closed. Now, we don't know what their intentions are. We don't know whether they're selling to close a position, selling to open a position. But if you're selling something, Coach Paul, you probably don't think it's going to continue to go up. Right? If I'm selling to close it, it's probably because I've taken my profits. If I'm selling to open it, it's probably because I want to short. And then we look at the price action for the rest of the day, and we had price trade around that, but volume never cleared above that high. Right? That's that red band that you see on my chart there. Is it a coincidence that VWAP stopped right at that high there? I'm gonna say no. Uh,
Boy,
we we had
I
price
would
trade
have to
above a
agree
couple
with you.
times. Yeah, go ahead, Coach Wall.
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting spot to look. And then I did take a short last night, 68.30, and I talked about this one during slow markets, 68.34. I did get in short. But what we had, Coach Paul, last night, we didn't get urgency. So I cut that trade. And I shouldn't say cut it. I took it for profits, but we didn't get the urgency that I was looking for right away, which we had the potential to do. Um, and then coming into the New York session, again, another retest of that 200 moving average, a rejection. Once we're back under this level for the New York session, it just seemed like there was a lot of room down, and that's kind of exactly what happened. Anything you got on the overnight or the 30-minute chart here, Coach Paul?
Well, if we look at the overnight and put a volume point of control or volume profile to 8 o'clock, just before the opening, see that distribution and where the value ended on the open. And there we go. Now look at the first 3 minutes. Keep that on. Frame it out. I've been watching that for. Can't hear you, Coach.
Oh yeah, my bad. I was talking on mute. I was going to say what Coach Paul is talking about here is a volume profile from the overnight session and using that to determine how the market responds to it, the overnight range, when uh, the New York session starts, where we know most of the volume is going to come in. And this red line here is I'm going to change this. Let's make this gold. I like that better. That gold line is an interesting spot to look at. Price might trade above it, but volume never does.
Well,
Go ahead, Coach Paul. You brought this to my attention. So what are you seeing here?
so the volume on the New York Open,
Hmm.
which is the biggest volume, it's where you have to ante up.
Right.
So the volume point of control overnight, we opened up underneath it. And if we just had that and VWAP, it shows us the energy of through volume without much noise. When we see that, that's pure flow. Flow of what? Flow of volume. Volume leads the market. Price doesn't. Price is just an advertisement. Um, and looking at that, I mean, there was heavy selling today.
Yes, there
Um,
was.
and to me, that was liquidation on top of yesterday's, was it 1400 lot on the close?
Hmm.
So one of the things if you're looking for a clue, is as it develops of um, another term is who's got the strong hands. Well, the sellers had the strong hands. We saw it through two easy things to look at: overnight volume profile and the first 3 minutes with the VWAP.
Yep. Yeah. Once we reject right off of this volume point of control here, we get some decent urgency. Right. We didn't look back up to more than 50% of that opening range once we broke out of it. I did take a short here, 68 16s. And if anyone who was here for slow markets last night? Anyone here for slow markets last night? We talked about a trade. I probably shared more than I should, but we talked about an average pull up, and in this case, it was a 2 ATR pull up once we closed the range, short from 68 16s, and just let the trade go from there. Um, we talk a lot. I showed the executions on the trade. That same trade I showed you guys last night for slow markets, I took today. And I want to shout out to Coach Paul. I had a tilt day yesterday, everybody. Yesterday was not a good trading day for me. But as Coach Paul and I do after at the buzzer a lot, we talked for about an hour yesterday. And what it ultimately came down to is when you see something, click the button. And Coach Paul, I'll paraphrase it, but click the button and don't complain, right? And that was about it, right? And yeah, in this case, it was, hey, measure it, um, take the trade from there. That 12-point pull up, like we talked about last night in slow markets, there was 2 ticks of drawdown on this trade, and it was my job to manage it at that point. And management looked like sitting here and not doing anything, because the market at that time, the flow was very heavy negative. So it was wait until it showed you a potential bounce point, which was ultimately a J trade at this low here. Low of the day, we get the highest volume, higher volume than the open. We hear this all the time, Coach Paul, from you. If I'm short and I see higher volume than the open, I may not be getting long, but I'm getting out. And I don't know where the market was willing to go for the rest of the day, but when I see this, I have to take my trade off. Right. So short from 68 16s, I think I got out at 68, 67, 76. And, you know, just doing the things that we talk about repeatedly here. Um, and just
Well,
taking all that information and then just putting it into execution, right? Can't be an analyst and expect to get paid from the markets.
at the beginning of the day, and when we start from the opening, I like to start it from the opening is where the volume comes. Is it begins with fragmented information, and as the day goes on, you get more volume and more movement. You get more information, and you can make better decisions. And removing yourself to what the market has to do, and putting yourself in a position of understanding what the market is doing. Um, you
Yep.
just described it to perfection.
Yeah. Uh, I see a comment from Gene, a question from Gene Rodriguez. Do these guys do giveaways? Gene, stay with us. We don't normally do giveaways. I don't know the last time we've done a giveaway, but maybe. But I will say what we do give away, which might be more valuable if you are willing to pay attention to, is the information. Anyone in the chat can attest to that. Hopefully, anything that we've said in the 2 years we've been doing, or year and a half we've been doing at the buzzer on YouTube, has been helping. But hopefully you can use the information that we're giving. And again, anything we say is not for not for trading purposes, not for trade decision. It's for information and educational purposes only. Hopefully, with that information, you never need to ask for another giveaway because you can take the information and trade on it. But yeah, just an amazing trade, Coach Paul. Someone in the chat was asking. They were like, "We want to see Coach Paul's screens." We got to get them up one day. We got to get them up
We
one day
will.
because you know what? If we get to here's what we do, Coach Paul. Let me see how many people we got right now. We got 578 people in here. I'm gonna do a Coach Dakota right now. If we get to 300 likes, Coach Paul will share his screen tomorrow.
All right. We'll leave that there.
There we go.
300 likes.
300. All right. Anything else you got on the equities, Coach Paul?
What did cousin Rusty do?
Looked even worse. Today might be a good 4-up day because they all did the exact same thing. Let's put the NASDAQ on the top left. We'll go S&P on the top right, Rusty on the bottom left, and the Dow on the bottom right. And everything was pretty much in sync today. Let's take a look here. Change these all to 30-minute charts. Full screen that. Kind of all the same. What's happening here, Coach Paul?
It's liquidation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throughout all of them, and but there wasn't one that was stronger than the other. They all looked the same.
Yep.
So once again, more evidence of very heavy action. By the way, we closed under the 20-day moving average in the S&P. Did we do it in the others?
Let's take a look here. Why do my charts look like this? Come on, fix it. Oh, I took the 200 20 moving average off. In the Dow, we closed above it. Dow closed above it, tested below it, closed above it. Dow on the bottom right here. In the S&P, we closed below it. The Russell has been below it.
Yeah.
The Russell's below the 50. The Russell looks up nasty here.
Oh, and it's about to cross. Last one to go, and the first one, last one at the party, and the first one to leave.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad we looked at that. Rusty is on my radar. Let's see if we get a cross of the 20 and the 50. And it's really it's that we have a theme here. It's liquidation.
Yes, we do. Yes,
and
we
it
do.
is November.
Selling into the end of the year potentially. This is looking pretty heavy here. But of course, anything can come out. We could have a trade deal with China tomorrow and say, you know what, tariffs were just a figment of our imagination. Don't worry about it. We're back at all-time highs. But we will see what happens here. Anything else you got on the equities?
That's it.
My question, Coach Paul, is what happens when the data finally comes out?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know
enjoying
either.
it not being. I just
same. The price action has been pretty clean.
It's been clean. We don't have panic. We don't have all the anxiety and angst before it. It's a smoother trade.
Yeah.
Maybe we're on to something.
Maybe so. Maybe so. If we continue to see this sell pressure, we're back inside this October 10th candle. Obviously, the 50-day moving average is right there, 67.15 in the S&P. Do we trade back through this imbalance, or do we find buyers here? We'll find out tomorrow. But for right now, things are looking pretty heavy. Let's go over to gold. What are we seeing here?
We're 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 on the sidelines for the next 2 months? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
We're
seriously.
holding that pat. We're in a holding pattern. But really not breaking out or finding any energy in rotating. That's not, to me, that's not bearish. We close above under the 50, it's a different story, but we're holding it so far and rotating. Anything else you see in that?
Balance. Sorry, I just started. Hopefully, we don't get a copyright strike for that. What the heck was that? Spotify just started playing music. You guys can listen to what I was listening to today while I was trading. Who can name that song? It played for 2 seconds. Who can name that song? Uh, let's see if the chat gets it. That definitely played through the speakers as well. But I'm seeing. No, it was not many men. I'm curious to see who can get that. We have balance here in gold, Coach Paul. This market is very comfortable trading these prices. We may be talking about these prices for the next 3 months, and JS just got it.
All
JS
right.
just got it. Classic song. Perfect. I play that song as soon as it gets cold in New York. It just feels like it's just time to go get it. What we do by Freeway. That is
Dolby's
that.
death metal band. No, it wasn't that.
Right. JS got it in the chat. Nice job. But yeah, gold seeing balance here, range to range. If we go to the 30-minute chart, range to range. Wow. Came right back down to that 30-minute opening range. I don't know if volume ever left this 30. It did. But yeah, it's just balance for now, right? Buy it somewhere near.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it hard to trade. I'm not trading it.
Okay.
Where's the 200 moving average?
The 30, 39.96.
I'm going to look at that. We're just vacillating is the first word that
Yeah.
comes to mind. Yeah, that's a no-go for me. For you range traders, there's some opportunity there. I find it really hard to even look at, let alone trade. Like,
Yeah.
there's no flow there.
No, it's a puddle. It's a puddle right now. But for the range traders, you have a defined range. And the thing about gold, again, this range, prices are still so high in gold that this range was a trend day 2 years ago. So there's opportunity in it, but you got to be patient, right? If you find yourself somewhere in the middle, if I find myself in a gold trade, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks like a good setup, and then I look at the price and it's within 2 points of 4,000, I'm almost thinking I need to get out because 4,000 is right in the middle of that range, and it feels like a 50-50 there. But if you have a trade strategy that says take the trade, take them, but try not to get caught in the middle there. It's like the Shark Tank. All right. Any other? I mean, all the other metals we've gotten silver requests a couple of times. Pretty much the same thing. Platinum, maybe looking a little heavier. Copper, right at that 200-day moving average. All the metals are kind of just chilling right now. Anything else you got on metals, Coach Paul?
They all look in flux. Although copper looks, copper could get pulled down if stocks start going down. That's how it gets its nickname, Dr. Copper. It's an economic indicator. But I don't trade it. I'm not trading copper. But it looks heavy. When we got that reaction of 50% of that candle, and rejected. We're at the 200 moving average. Um, but I'm in no hurry to trade that.
Nope, not at all. I'm gonna get to some comments here in the chat. Chauncey
Okay.
says, "Coach Jay, I'm approaching my this XFA different than before. I'm locking my risk setting before I do anything. I'd love to hear that. Uh, my DLL is $60, and I'm only trading one minor micro. Is that too low of a DLL? 5 minute ATR equals nine points. I think you're talking about the S&P probably. Uh, is that too low of a DLL? I mean, you're probably giving yourself one trade in that case. What do you think, Coach
Hmm.
Paul? $60 DLL with one micro.
A DLL? So you,
Yeah, daily loss limit
I
$60.
would do it as a percentage of
Drawdown.
your equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, your drawdown. Um, but that being said, what's your profit target? If you're going to do that, it's got to be a lot of multiples. Um, it seems extreme, but I don't know the whole trading plan. But definitely, if $60 is your DLL, so you're giving yourself what, 30 30 points.
Yeah, it's I mean, it sounds a little tight. Maybe $100. I just don't. Yeah, I think what you said, Coach Paul, it's a percentage of the equity in the account. If you're in a 50K account and you have, what is it, $2,000 drawdown, that's pretty tight. But also, you know yourself, right? So does opening up that DLL expose you to trade habits that you have that you don't that you're trying to fix? Uh, right. That would be my question there. Uh,
Uh, if you're doing that just to see if you can follow rules,
great.
I I can see the value in that, but I mean, you gotta give it some room, and be more dynamic. But if it's just for the point of see if I can do that, so you're training yourself, okay. But at one point you gotta go wider.
I'm trying to see here. So 9 points is the ATR on a 5 minute. So 18 points based on the Coach Paul suggestion would be your risk with one micro. That's $90. So yeah, that's one trade. I'm scalping if I'm in the green. I'm taking the win and done for the day. Chauncey, if you're taking the approach like Coach Paul just said, where you're learning something about how you can manage an account, I see nothing wrong with it. Uh, I see nothing wrong with it. Just have reasonable expectations for your outcomes, right, of your trades. Uh, all right, let's. There was one more question here. This is from Boogie. Uh, Coach Jay, I started trading with Topstep since 2003. When I have a profitable day, I feel like I got lucky because I can't seem to nail down a strategy. How do you stick to one strategy? Coach Paul, you want to start with that one? You want me to go first?
Yeah. Um, I pick a strategy. We usually look at the opening range breakout, or if whatever it is, write the rules down. 4 steps. Write them down. Measure out the risk, your size, how much you're willing and how much you're able, not willing, because we're all able to take more risk than we really should, but how much you can afford. Write this down in the process. All right. Understand that risk and forward test it if you haven't back tested. You have some experience here. It seems to me you're unable to follow that plan, and you go off. Um, do yourself a favor, write it down. Plan. I look at the ATRs. Look at how much risk you need to take to execute it. Give yourself 30 trades to see if you can just do it for 30 trades and look at the results where your whole focus is to get 30 trades. Start that way. Anything to add to that, coach?
No, I think that's a great suggestion. But in that, you need to filter, right? I know that when I started trading, uh, there was there were courses, there were YouTube videos, there were people selling things that it's like, hey, this is the strategy that works. This is the strategy that works. 90% win rate here. The only trading strategy that you need to win a trade. I see it all on YouTube now, and I think it's insane because no one ever talks about the downside of those trades. Uh, but filtering is important right now. If you are new to trading, or not even new to trading, you've been trading for 2 years, right? But that's still fairly new. At
Yeah.
some point, you have to filter out any other ideas and just focus on the one that you're doing. So what I would say is if you are locking in on your process, and I'm saying this as somebody who's on YouTube right now speaking to you, make sure you hit the thumbs up button before you leave after I tell you this, but don't listen to anyone else. Uh, don't watch another video. Don't read another book. Don't look at another strategy. Don't add another indicator. Don't do any of that, right? Focus on the trade setup and nothing else, right? Quiet out all the other noise, delete social media, or if you follow a bunch of, streamers and influencers on social media, don't look because what you're going to see more often than not is a positive result all the time. More often than not, you're not going to see negatives. I just told you guys I had a tilt day. I'm actually slowing myself down from trading Topstep accounts right now because I need to address that. But yeah, you need to really just go tunnel vision and kind of focus on what you're looking at, because then you'll be able to determine whether or not it works, when it works and when it doesn't. Um, so yeah, good stuff, Coach Paul.
All right. Good questions.
Uh,
By the way, I just want to add it without doing that, how are you going to train yourself? When you do that process, you start removing yourself from impulse. And I'm pretty confident that's where 90% of all trades go bad. It's an impulse, wasn't planned. And when you go through your process of checking the trades against what you were supposed to do and the result, when you do that, you're going to find some type of behavior that's holding you back. And when you can identify that, you're going to make a lot of progress.
yes, we are good stuff. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil,
Hmm.
Coach Paul. You know what I'm doing. I'm giving this one to you.
Thank you.
Here you are, friend. I got you something.
Yeah, well, leaking lower. I'm still holding the 20-day moving average in a very small range. Still trending lower. Um, Other than that, not much. I don't see much opportunity there. Let's look at the half hour.
Hmm. What's that?
That was today. Is that today's high?
That is today's high.
So, wow.
The white line
So yeah,
algo
there
does it
was
again.
an opportunity. I didn't see it. What time was that? Was that London time?
That was, yeah, London time, 4 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central time. We're talking about
Yeah,
the 200
London.
moving average up here, chat.
If London doesn't want it, I don't want it. And we got the same thing in the New York Open. Um, but you need to be awake for that. Um, it's still a small range. Like I said, but the nice trade off the 200. I got to automate. Well, it didn't. Did it touch it? Couldn't even
No,
touch it.
no, didn't touch it. Got pretty close. Hey, if when we get alerts on Topstep X, I know the first alert I'm setting up.
Yeah.
Tell me when a market hits that 200 moving, or tell me when a market is within. Hopefully, I can do this within
1%.
10%. Yep, within 10% of the or 1% of a 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart. Infinite money glitch. That is not financial advice. That's just a joke. Uh, let's take a look at an energy market that was moving then. Natural gas. Urgency last night, clearly.
Oh, wow.
First 30 minutes, we're just off to the races. We did have a nat gas number out today. That's what this is. But before that, this is a market that's in a strong uptrend right now. Maybe it's short covering, maybe it's seasonality playing out. But since we've been above this 200 moving average, and that's back to October 3rd, so it's been about 6 days or so, maybe a little more than 6 days. It's been pretty aggressive to the upside. I didn't catch this last night either, but if you're looking for an energy market that's moving or trending, I'll say natural gas. I feel we're gonna be talking about this a lot more, Coach Paul.
Yeah, we get it's and the thanks to Coach Hoop for bringing it back onto the headlines.
Yep.
I mean, we had that break. Look where we broke to,
Yeah. Right to it.
and traded through it, but we held. We had a number today. Um,
So it's weird because this is when did that number come out? What time did that number come out? 10:30 Eastern. So this is the number here, and then we traded lower than it. Numbers here, and then we broke after that number almost an hour later, 2 hours later. Hmm. Either way, some nice opportunities in natural gas. Who in the chat is trading natural gas right now? Who is trading natural gas? Coach Hoop said it's a fade number on the pop.
yeah, there was buyers lurking in the weeds. Um, Look at that. That's selling that large number, right? Was that it? Oh, we got a nice J trade there. Wasn't completely a J trade, but off a number. That was the largest volume. It made
Yep.
new lows of the move, um, but not new lows of the day. Wow.
Yeah. This was a tough one. Rich just said, I've been watching that gas. It fakes you out. Uh, yeah.
But you know what? It never left that range from the news candle. Wow. Yeah. Someone's I don't know if that's short covering, but every dip is being bought now.
Yeah. Heavily. Um, I will say when we were trading that gas a lot last year, I did like looking at it on higher time frames and trading it on the 30, just because some of the intra candle movement can feel Nasdaq-ish. Uh, just made up a word there, I think, but it can feel uh, like a roller coaster. Um, but on a higher time frame, it kind of smooths it out a little bit. So maybe consider that if you are going to trade it. And also there are micros, MNG, we can trade micro natural gas. Uh, and it is pretty thin as well. I was looking at a heating oil depth of market today, heating oil order book, and that is a thin market. Uh, for any order flow traders, thin markets are way easier to read order flow if you're trying to learn.
Yeah, there's not much noise in between. And
Yep.
something like heating oil is really 90% commercially traded.
Yeah. Yep. All right. There's the energies. Anything else we got, Coach Paul? We went over a couple of different markets here. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything on your scouting report today?
No, but let's look at someone brought up we talked about grains. Let's look at the soybean chart.
Coach Hoop just posted in the chat. Tesla shareholders approve Musk's $1 trillion pay package. Congrats, Elon. Congrats.
A
Here's
trillion.
soybeans. $1 trillion
Well,
compensation.
all right, let's look at is that the daily?
Daily in soybeans.
Yeah, we've had a big run up, but still, it's still hard to trade on the news of possible Chinese. buying. We did get some news that they did buy soy meal or sorghum, but we've ran into a wall. What price is that high up there? That is that an even number?
1137, if I'm
So,
quoting that correctly. We got 1140 right above it.
all right.
Gonna zoom out
What?
to the left here.
Well,
Definitely some resistance up here on a higher time frame.
yeah. And we're showing that because it was down 26 cents there. It's a pretty big move.
Hmm.
Looks like profit taking after a big run up.
Yeah.
Still not anything exciting to me. What about corn?
Take a look at corn here. Tesla is just screaming to the upside right now after that. Hey, we're paying our is he still the CEO? I guess he is still the CEO of Tesla, right? We're
I
paying him
think so.
$1 trillion. Stock goes up. Here's corn on the daily. We broke that trend line that we had. We had this on
Yeah.
there for a little while now.
Nice basing action, but profit taking. Um, Nothing much else to say there. We're still under the 200. There's, yeah, definitely profit taking. We had a nice little run up, but I have nothing else to add to that corn chart.
Yep. We got a request for the Japanese yen. Japanese yen. Let's take a look here on the daily. We are seeing. Is this a yearly low? These are yearly lows in the Japanese yen. We're bouncing off the yearly low. Anything you're seeing here, Coach Paul? I'll put the
Yeah,
20
that,
and
that
the
looks
50.
like a good chance of continuation. We haven't watched that in a while. Look at the half hour.
Hmm.
Um,
Short covering.
Short covering. But look at from last night. We had urgency, and we cleared the 200. Wow, it's a nice buy.
Yeah, today it
Um,
was. Today it was. But you're not believing these bounces here.
well, I mean, the longer term trend is down,
Yep.
but right here in the immediate, we're day traders. I see that. That's a buy opportunity on a day
Right.
frame.
Yep.
Right off the bat. Um, Probably a good place to sell on a rally like that. So I would look at the first half an hour and see if we get urgency, possible opportunity for a sell.
Here we go. Shout out to Trinity Jones in the chat. Team Lunatics. VIP season 4 is still underway here. Remember, chat, if we get to 300 likes, Coach Paul's sharing his charts tomorrow. We got 131 right now. See what you guys can do. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin on a daily. We talked about this one on the open, just one of the bigger percentage movers to the downside, right above this 100,000 level in the futures. Should the hodlers be concerned here, Coach Paul?
Well, yeah, I think. Well, hodlers are never concerned.
Never
They're
concerned.
never. They're just never concerned. So
Nothing bothers
can't
them.
ask them to. But I would say that investors coming towards the end of the year, we're actually lower than we started the year. We're under the 200. We got under the 200 with some heavy volume, and we're not able to recover. Yeah, this is really heavy. That's definitely signs of a downtrend. Um, so my analysis is going to continue to grind lower. That's not to me a good. It would have to recover that 200 for me to begin to think about it, and even then, it's pretty heavy.
Yes, it is. Got that triple top on the higher time frame on the daily. 1, 2, 3, and selling off a little bit. But maybe the hodlers are just looking for a better place to buy it. For a better place to buy it. I heard a lot of 250K Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin at some point, right? If it starts moving like the equity markets, we know the equities just go up. Uh, are we going to say that about Bitcoin as well? Bitcoin just goes up. And if you look at a higher time frame, It does. It does.
It
It has aggressive pullbacks, but it does just go up. All right, I think we did it. I think we got to most of the questions there. Somebody had asked earlier, and I think you figured it out. But anchored VWAP, if you look at the drawing tools on the left side of your screen, 5 icons down, you have forecasting and or you have projection tools, and then halfway through that menu, you got anchored VWAP. Put a star next to it so it shows up in your little drawing panel here, and it's the icon with two candles and a line going through it. Click on a candle, and it'll anchor from there. Haven't explained that one in a while, so it's always good to get a refresher. Uh,
Yeah, I forget. I have to use it, so I would have to struggle to find it
right.
if I had to bring it up again. Good
Yep.
question.
There we go. But I think that's it. I think that's it, Coach Paul. One more day to end the week.
Yeah, it could be interesting end of the week. Let's quickly in the yeah, Nasdaq and the S&P take a look at the weekly.
Uh, Bink, I agree. They need a shortcut for VWAP. On Quantower, I have it set to just the V key. So every time I hit V as a hotkey and then I click, I'm gonna set that as a put that in as a feature request. Here's the weekly, Coach Paul, in the Nasdaq.
Uh, Still very constructive. Um, Interesting though. Um, could use a nice little break. If just speaking technically, I don't want to insult anybody who's owning stocks, but it's just really a weekly pullback and nothing alarming. So always good to get a good look at that. Keep your perspective.
Yes, it is. We are still going up. This is healthy for now. Uh, Coach Hoop says, see if cattle can bounce more tomorrow. That weekly is looking nasty in cattle, but I think today it looked like it was going to bounce, Hoop. Uh, but then we got back to halfway through yesterday's range, or not even halfway, quarter through yesterday's range, got to some of this high volume from yesterday, and we rejected again. This market is looking pretty ugly. That 200-day moving average is so close. What are we? That's one more limit down day to end the week. Get to that 200 moving average, and then we can bounce from there. Let's see what happens there. Coach Hoop says it is in trouble. All right. I think we did it there, Coach Paul. We got one more question. Courtney had asked a question. I said I had a tilt day yesterday. Chat wants to know, what does that look like? So I'll explain it. Usually what happens, I think it's important to know what your tilt triggers are. And for me, the thing that puts me on tilt the most is not executing a trade that I've planned, right? I think, and hopefully you guys have seen it, like some of the analysis that we do is pretty spot on. And I'm not saying I'm the best analyst out there or whatever it is, but I feel like I have a pretty good read on what the market is going to do when I stay objective, right? And try not to come in with a bias. So when I measure things really well and I don't trade it, that is a tilt trigger for me for sure. And I have to be very conscious of that, right? Today, I took that trade from 68.16 in the S&P. Uh, Let me go back to this really quick. Uh, I took the trade from 68.16. As soon as I put the trade on, I said 67.64 is the first target. I took it off before that, and then I had to lock myself out because I know that I have the potential to, if the market gets to where I thought it was going to go and I'm not in it, I have the potential to do some stupid shit. We'll just call it what it is, right? You have to know who you are as a trader. So yesterday, what it was there was a trade that I measured really well, was not patient to wait for the pullback, got in early, took a stop out, and then over leveraged from that point. So now and I was even in the over leveraged trade, I was right about the direction, but went to too much size in the trade. It eventually worked out, but stopped me out before, because then I started looking at, okay, I'm not going to lose X amount of dollars after I've already lost on a good trade. So for me, it's execute what you see the first time, right? And that is a way to stay away from tilt. And it doesn't happen all the time. It's not like every day I miss a good trade. But yesterday, if you saw that rally yesterday, there was a pullback to VWAP, and is this yesterday's price action right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday in the S&P here, and actually it was in the S&P. So this here, as soon as we saw this price action, I said buy it off of VWAP, and I didn't buy it off of VWAP. If I did what I said, there's no drawdown. If I did what I said, there's no drawdown. So what I do, and it might sound crazy, and it's funny, Coach Paul. I don't know. We'll talk a little bit, right? We get into Jay as a trader because you guys don't get to see this all the time. Sometimes I think about recording myself and just putting the videos on YouTube, just so you guys can see what trading looks like while I'm here. Because everyone's like, "Oh, Jay's always so calm, so patient." Um, Coach Paul, I don't know with my basketball players, I used to tell them this all the time. Uh, if they're having like a shooting slump, to talk through their form. You ever do
Okay.
that?
Yeah. Well, one thing is get rhythm.
Right,
Like do a count 1, 2, 3. Where you're not forcing it.
right.
Or
Yeah.
as the great John Wooden used to say, "Be quick, but don't hurry."
Mhm. Yeah. But I would tell shooters who are in a slump, just, "Hey, say it out loud," right? Like, feet square to the rim, catch, hold your follow through, right? Say it out loud, even if it might seem weird, but you gotta remind yourself what you're trying to do. Um, and for me, when I'm looking at a trade and I have a pretty good trade setup and I have an idea of what's going to happen, but I need to be patient and wait for it, I'll just sit here and say it out loud as many times as I have to until the trade sets up. So today, I took that trade from 68.16. I saw price action that said we should get a pull up near 68.16. And I sat here for 5 minutes saying, sell it at 68.16. Sell it at 68.16 and no lower. And it worked, right? Does it sound crazy? Maybe, but it's a line that I love from a controversial artist, Kanye West. He says, "Name one genius that ain't crazy." Um, so I sat here, I sat here talking to myself for 5 minutes, saying, "Don't sell anything less than 68.16," and it worked out pretty well. If it makes money, it makes sense. But yeah, there you go. That was my tilt day yesterday, everybody. It happens. We don't want them to happen. We try to mitigate as much as possible the tilt. What was the case though, and shout out to Coach Paul for this one. Um, there are risk limiters that I have because this wasn't even in a Topstep account. This was in a well, it wasn't a Topstep account and it wasn't a personal account. It was a tilt day for sure. In the personal account, there was a risk limiter that said, "Hey, you can't lose any more money. You have to stop." And I'm very happy that that's there because I don't know what that limit would have been. And then it gives me the opportunity to come back, trade tomorrow, trade today. Today's trades make up for it. So uh, use those features.
Well, you caught yourself and
Hmm.
understanding. And earlier we talked about how do I follow a plan consistently.
Yep.
You just went through the dynamics of that, just to understand what is taking you off of the path
Yep.
and slow down
Yep.
and get
100%.
back in, get back in rhythm.
Get back in rhythm. Oscar wants to know how I lock myself out of a personal account. The back end is rhythmic, and just set the settings in there. Set the settings. You could set a percentage. Um, but yeah, that's it. Billy says, Coach Jay, you should watch At the Buzzer. Just think about what Coach Jay and Coach Paul would say and refocus. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There are definitely times throughout my trading day. I'm just like, I know I'm gonna talk to Paul after the trading day about how things went. And sometimes it's going to be a hard conversation, and that's all right. But yeah, it's definitely in the back of my mind. It's a good show. I should watch it all the time. Um,
And if you do, make sure to hit the like
hit
button.
that thumbs up button. I hit the thumbs up button before I watch. So chat for you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you can. We
Oh, that's
appreciate it.
awesome.
Coach Paul, anything else you got before we go?
Going back to what you just mentioned, and by the way, we talk a lot about our trading. It helps if having a trading buddy. And goes back to this: plan your trade and trade your plan. It's a really a statement that's full of brevity. It's tight, but it's not easy to do. But focus on it, and then you get after a while, you don't want the random trades. You will do you'll catch yourself. When you do that, you're on a good path. With that, we'll talk again tomorrow.
We will talk to everyone tomorrow. Coach Robert's doing a class in Discord right now. Then after him, Coach Hoop at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Coach Ray and Coach Vince at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Times. Dakota with slow markets tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Baron's going to be joining him. Dakota is going to be back in his live account trading at all the slow markets. So make sure you join over there. Then we got Aaron with the London Open. 2:30 a.m. Eastern. No Deanna Euro trade tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. And D said, I'm not working on Fridays. 3-day weekend for Deanna. So ton of content out there for you, all with the intention of helping you become a better trader. So if you like what we're doing here, hit that thumbs up button. Tell your friends and family to like and subscribe as well. Trade well, manage your risk. We will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.